Hi there, it's Wade McMaster here from creatorimpact.com. Now, today's video I'm going to be reviewing a website called Nerd Fitness. Now, Nerd Fitness is a bit of a community website. It's a website where a lot of people have sort of come together to try and learn to keep fit. It was started by Steve Cam many years ago. Basically, it's a very popular website as it has brought a lot of people who are, and I use quotation marks when I say this, nerds, so to speak, get fit, get healthy, improve their lives, and it's insanely popular and has a really, really strong, powerful message. Something that I think is really cool. Just a really cool website doing great things for people and helping them improve. So I wanted to check out this site because I've always liked the theme, the way that it works. Straight away, being Nerd Fitness, they've sort of really gone for, they've tried to use a lot of pop culture references and pop culture stylings to present their message. So obviously you can see the word, it's one thing to say the word nerd, but you can see they've got it written in like a comic book style, very like a cool casual with like the label maker saying level up your life. But the way they include that sort of comic font in with the normal font is pretty cool. Now, one thing I've spoken about previously in some videos is trust factors. This website does a really good job. It showcases a bunch of people. We've got Steve, the creator of the site, and a few people. It does look like an authentic photo. You can sort of tell these people it's not just a stock photo. And I think that's really cool, the way that that sort of hits you the second you land. The other thing too is that they've got all these before and after shots down the page here showing the results they've been able to get. So not only is it about trustworthiness, but it showcases the results that they've been able to get for people, showing that the things they talk about, the principles they push actually work. So once again, that's a very powerful sort of visual to have on a website. Now, one thing I find interesting about this, which is in reverse to a little while ago, I did Pat Flynn's website, different niche, so you can't really compare it necessarily. But one thing I've noticed is this website looks like it's gone away from pushing the content and the freebies first, and when you land, it's about getting one-on-one coaching and joining Nerd Fitness Prime or signing up to their email list in exchange for some free tools. The homepage seems to be more set on selling. So you get here, you're getting sold to, you're getting sold to, and then being asked to subscribe if you weren't interested in what's above. Backtrack a little bit. Once again, those logos of reputable sort of publications, another way to sort of give us a bit of proof to the quality of what you do. But it's a different approach. These guys have actually been trying to sell a little bit harder. But you can see here at the very top, first thing at the top of the page is free articles. But you got such a powerful sort of visual here that you kind of go straight past it, and you're less likely to kind of look up and more keep going down the page. But it is there. It's not hard to see. It's just they haven't tried to really make it super obvious that you can get a lot of free content at this site, and they've sort of pushed more the community and the products that they're trying to sell. So one thing I like too is the way this has like the halftone sort of print appearance, very comic booky. It's in the background here in the orange, and the texture they use here. They've got these subtle textures throughout the website, and these lines, and they haven't kept anything too flat and boring. They've tried to keep that comic book look with the halftone here, and even the bordering around this box. It's a pretty cool way that they've set it up. One thing I noticed is if you go to join Prime though, that all really kind of disappears. I get that there's a bit of a minimalist sort of factor to it, but a lot of the textures disappear. You've got the Nerd Fitness, the Nerd and Prime words are in that font, but it becomes very standard then. Like obviously they're trying to get you to focus on the information of the products are highlighted visually, so you stop and look at those. So they're good at highlighting certain bits and pieces, but I sort of feel like I'm on a completely different website. That's the only complaint I really have. Because they've gone for such a different sort of look and feel to the homepage, I do feel like I'm on a bit of a different website. Not to take away from the fact that it seems to be an effective sales page because people are buying it and it is working for them. But even adding some subtle textures and a little bit more into some of these elements would help marry it up to that homepage a bit better. Now, one of the reasons you can tell it's a squeeze page is because the navigation has gone completely and there's not really any links off page. So even that, it's maybe that's what they were going for. They wanted you to feel like you were on a different website altogether. So let's go back. Let's check out About Nerd Fitness. So this is a little bit more consistent. We've got that same nice sort of texture in the background. We've got that imagery. Our sort of comic book text is back. And all the call to actions, they've got that same style to them. So the sales pages do look like they're from a different website, but it's so far the rest of the site seems to be pretty consistent. Now the fact that they use a lot of authentic photos here is really cool, and then the fact that they also mix in some pop culture references, and the way they include that in their writing is actually really cool too. I've always thought that the articles on Nerd Fitness were very scannable and put together very well. The fact that you have a little bit of an intro, there's lots of dot points, more dot points, as you get a bit of text. You got the question, what is Nerd Fitness? You got Steve here. You can see that he's the guy that is behind, or at least who started Nerd Fitness. And everything is broken up really well. Nothing really fancy is going on here. It's just broken up very well. The text is easy to read and scan through. And when you see things like this and the references to pop culture as you're going, and then how it ties into reality, it's just very cool. And they got good use of graphics. Once again, you got that sort of comic look with a bit of a texture. It's just the way they do it is it's just very cool. Like I said, nothing fancy, just good use of text, and then they put some visuals in a really nice way when they need to. So it's they're very, very long bits of information. But even the footer, the way that they've put the half-tone effect over Steve here, I think looks very cool. And they've got that logo showing up everywhere, the N and the F in the circle. Once again, basic but effective. It's up here at the top. It's also on the home page when you first land, and it's very powerful. Now, if I go to latest posts, this is sort of their blog. Same thing again. Now, one thing I like is the fact that they have the sidebar in a different color. I have seen other websites where the sidebar is next to the content, but in the same sort of white area. So it looks like one big area with a bunch of blocks and squares on it. So it's always good. If you have a sidebar on desktop, it's good to have it differentiated from the content area. So that's that's definitely a small design thing. I feel it's one of those things that subconsciously makes a page easier to read because you know that you've got your header. There's this information on the left and that information on the right. If you remove that gray, all of a sudden, this looks like one big area with multiple bits across it and you don't know where to look. So something very cool. The small little sidebar sections, that also is very effective. The fact that it has the exact same style, but they use different colors and imagery. Their choice of imagery is very interesting also. You see here, they like to use the Lego a lot, and you got Star Wars references, like you got Stormtrooper here. Then we've got a legitimate photo. Then we've got a Star Wars Lego here, another legitimate photo, a couple of bits of Lego. I do like the way they've used Lego throughout the website. Lego Yoda. They've got a lot of visual consistencies that allow you to really feel at home. Once you get used to scrolling through this site, you get a feel for what to expect, and that sort of calms and relaxes people a little bit, and it makes it easier for them to sort of have confidence in maybe spending money in a website like this, like buying one of their programs or even just subscribing to their newsletter. So yeah, and once again, some authentic photos. Also, once again, the pop culture references, the fact that you cut from here and then you got a guy here who's actually wearing the Spider-Man suit. It's pretty cool. Let's get back to the top. Let's go to free resources. Now the page is colored a bit differently, but once again, we've got that same consistent navigation, and we still got that same look realistically. You still got the red, and even though this area isn't white like the other pages, the gray still works. It's a similar gray to the label in the logo, and we've still got that comic book feel to the people in the background, that same comic book font. The consistency of the brand throughout this is really good. Some of this text is a little bit full on, but you do what works. Okay, home workout program. So once again, Nerd Fitness Prime. So let's just head back. Let's head back to the home page. Now that's one thing I've noticed is that there is no home link. If you go back, you'll notice that if you're in the website, in the blog, whatever, there's actually, you can click on the logo to go home, but there is actually no home link because I don't think they're necessarily wanting people to go to that home page. I think it's more used as a landing page if people land on the website, but once you're in the website, trying to direct people to these various different areas is probably more effective. I could be wrong about that, but that's just a theory. But we will head back to that home page. All courses. Oh, Nerd Fitness Prime again. So a lot of these take you back to the same page. But so you've sort of seen the bulk of the design and how it works. You're going to notice there's a few common things about it. Like I said, the fact that they use the visuals, like the way they use the Lego figures, the pop culture references, even in some of the blog posts. Before I actually do wrap up, I'll go to free articles, go to all articles. Now, I might be scrolling for a bit to find this, but they've actually themed a lot of posts around pop culture. I know that the fact that they have the Hulk here is pretty cool. Bulking up fast, how to bulk like the Hulk. I believe there's another one about how to transform your life, with Optimus Prime and things like that. The theme, they've really themed it quite heavily. They've really themed it around pop culture, around nerd culture, and they've really combined two things which might seemingly be different, which is fitness and nerd culture, and put them together and created this nice blend, which definitely, it just works. And it's not just because the two together work, but also because it's been executed quite well. And you can see just the way they keep that font consistency. This font, it's Comic is a very common sort of font, but it's not commonly used along websites. So it does have a little tiny tad of a unique flavor to it. But the way that they theme this up, the comic book look, the pop culture references and images, the Lego figures in all the blog posts, that consistency is very powerful and probably the main thing I would take from this website. And then also that same lesson being applied to the sales page looking different than the website, the fact that you feel like you're going to a different website when you go to it. So yeah, that's pretty much my review of this website. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you're enjoying these reviews I've been putting up. It's something I'm experimenting with. But if you do like it, please give the video a like. If you want to see more like this, please also consider subscribing so you can see when the next one comes out. And if you have any websites that you want me to review, pop a comment in the comments below. Let me know. I'll check that out, and we can go from there. So thanks for watching the video. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time.